Hello everybody, welcome back to another Derri-Gacha video. Today we're going to be looking at ways to kill the wall on the inhibitor raid. So this is just to see which way is the best, easiest slash the fastest, in case you're a little bit less experienced or if you don't really care about raids and you just want to get it done. The ideal situation being that you'll get it done with a decent amount of damage and that you can auto it as well. I have my own suggestion. You probably would have yours as well, but I'm very biased towards Momo, but we'll get to her like towards the end of the video. I want to get rid of a couple of other options before then. So, first off, we have Chloe Starseeker. So, Chloe Starseeker, she apparently cancels all enemy barriers, defense minus 15%, and sleep for 8 seconds. That part of that Lunar Curse command skill, which is her command skill, it's the sleep that makes it so that the wall can't revive, but the wall recovers very quickly. He definitely doesn't last for 8 seconds, I have to say, because when I tried this, it was 1 second that it was not active, in the battle. I'm not sure, if it was definitely my eyes, or if it was definitely the game being a bit weird, but it was definitely not 8 seconds, it was about 1 second. So, I can't say whether she's amazing or not, but from the one playtest that I did with her, it was not amazing. So, that only the sleep part was why she gets chosen for the wall. But for the gameplay, you did see me activate her. Yeah, the wall did not last very long at all before it regained its massively brilliant regenerative abilities. I don't know what to say there. Like that was not 8 seconds to me. You can time it if you want, but regardless, this is why she got chosen. During the early days of Counterside, it was only Chloe and Ju that were, that were the units that would actually help with the wall. Because brute forcing was, it was always an option, but it wasn't the best. It was always the absolute worst that you could do. So, unfortunately, for this, I will probably test it out. I might make an addendum later on as well, but for this test I did, it wasn't amazing because the window was just too small. I couldn't actually kill the wall after the activation. The wall would gain the regenerative abilities before I managed to get rid of it, so then I ended up brute forcing it afterwards. And that's a bit sad, honestly, because I was expecting a little more from that, but again, I don't know exactly what causes that. I don't think it's because I leveled my operator, because it says base 8 seconds, so it should have lasted for 8 seconds. That is plenty of time, that's plenty of time. Unless there's something I'm not aware of, where that sleep gets changed or whatever because of some of the variables. Don't know. But sadly, Chloe, for that instance, was not great, so I can't say that she's amazing, but if you have her, then she is an option. Like, having an operator there, I think is generally better than having a unit to get rid of the wall, because then like, Ju-Shun, he's fine, we're going to discuss him later. I just much prefer to replace him with a different unit that would actually kill the wall, do damage, or at the very least debuff the wall of the inhibitor in some way. But yeah, that's it for Chloe. We're going to be moving on to I think brute forcing is what I did next, and that was the one of the worst things you could do for the wall. I did change it back to Momo, my operator goes back to Momo because this party was built for Momo, so it seemed odd that I would put any other member in, any other operator. But yes, I didn't auto it again because I wanted to have all of my damage dealing units, really high output units on the field at once, so that I could kill the wall, just to prove this brute forcing isn't the best. I suppose in this very specific instance, the brute forcing was actually a little faster, maybe, than having Chloe, but again, if you have Chloe, it should be faster than brute forcing. Brute forcing is like the absolute worst. Again, making that very clear, right? So, having an operator, I would say, is better, but we're trying to rate on like effectiveness and shit, so I'm not sure exactly where this is going to go. I'll formulate an opinion towards the end of the video so that I can give maybe like a theoretical tier list or something if you wanted to have something like that. But yeah, brute forcing, not great. You know, it takes ages to be able to kill the wall. There are much faster ways of doing that. There's not really much to say about that. I guess if you manage to kill the wall often in inhibitor waves with just brute forcing, just making sure that purple bar goes up really quickly and make sure that completes itself so that it gets stunned, then you'll have an easier time doing dimension trimming when you're probably going to be doing that. And that could be in its own video, but basically there are a couple of stages like volcano and jungle trimming that are basically the same thing in some cases, so you'll have an easier time and it won't be as daunting for you. But yeah, I'm gonna quickly move on from you know, forcibly breaking the wall, because it's by far the worst tactic for this. Okay, so now we're gonna try Momo. She's definitely the best, I think, for this, because she's very easy to use. Again, she's an operator, so there's a plus there. So you can remove Shiyun and put another unit like John Mason or another damage dealer or whatever, like fucking Awaken Sigma or something. And as you can see, that kills the wall. The window to kill the wall when it doesn't have the regeneration is much larger. At least it was when comparing it to Chloe's. But yeah, Momo has healing reflux, so that buff that the wall is getting, it will just get rid of that. And for some reason, it also stuns it as well. So that's just a double victory there. So that, yeah, it just absolutely shreds it. I definitely think it's the easiest to use, because, you know, if it wants supported first, well, you obviously put down frontline first, as you would. Because especially for me, my playstyle is that I put down frontline, then a healer, or frontline, then a buffer or debuffer, then a healer. But yeah, so it suited my playstyle, I will say that, right? So I'm just getting out the bias a little bit there. But I do still think the Momo is the easiest, because you only need one copy for her to be super effective. Her, like, she's, as you can see, her command skill is level 1, and she does 100% healing reflex. I don't even know why you'd want to upgrade that, to be honest. I don't really see the benefit of that. And honestly, I think Momo is quite niche, but to be honest, I think she serves her well, extremely well, which is why I say keep her. So if you're a new player, then you're wanting an operator to deal with the inhibitor, then absolutely go for Momo, because I would still say, again, she is by far the easiest, and definitely one that I would very much suggest using. Because if you're not using an operator for this, then you'll have to use Shiyun, and I really don't think Awakened Shiyun is very good. It has to be the purple SR variant of Shiyun, because his counterattack actually stuns. I think only the ultimate stuns on Awakened Shiyun, but for normal Shiyun, it's the special, and you want the special because that's always ready to be activated when you deploy any character, so that's nice. But yeah, that's my reasoning. I would definitely say Momo is a better operator, and Momo's an operator, so you can just put different down. Anyway, enough of me repeating myself. I will just quickly mention as well, or at least showcase, when I was finishing up this run, a funny thing happened. The game crashed, and I'll let you see my first-hand, or I'll let you hear rather my first-hand reaction to that. I thought it was pretty funny. What? No fucking way! Alright then. Bruh. What a time to go down. Oh, shit. Okay, and lastly we have, I think, Juicioon, who I'm going to try out. And his entire thing of, you wait, so, okay, to perhaps explain this a little better. The wall that's protecting the inhibitor has 2 bars, as you can see, and that is basically the very ultimate ability or whatever it is, right? The blue bar represents how far it's got until it resets that ability or uses it again. The purple bar is how far it's got to go before that skill gets interrupted. So you want the purple bar to be full at the very least. And this is how you're able to break through the wall. But again, it's such a tedious task, I don't know why you'd ever want to do it. But I just used Jushun's skill. His thing is about dropping him anywhere, especially in front of the wall, because when the wall reactivates their ability for the first time, that counts as a special skill, and then Shun can deflect it for a very short window, very short amount of time. But I've never found it to be quite long enough. I've gotten the wall to like 3/4 of its health before it regains the regeneration, and then it just goes and requires me to brute force it. So for me personally, it's not the most useful, and I imagine that's going to be a bit harder for you to use, like for the average person to use, because again, you require units that are built to be able to overcome the shorter window, shorter time to get all the damage in, to kill the wall and everything. That's why I say Momo. I'm sure like this video can probably illustrate the timings of everything, but yeah, it's just it's a bit difficult, honestly, with Shun. So this is purely why I say get an operator and get Momo specifically, because yeah, she's niche, but she actually excels. Out of all the other options, she definitely excels in what she does. And that's really all I have for you. I think what I will mention is that if you're wanting like a grade or anything, if you're wanting to know my opinion on how I would grade all the options that I presented today, the top would be Momo. Or at least the first choice would be Momo. The second one would be Chloe. Third one would be Jushu, and the fourth one will be brute forcing, because brute forcing is obviously the worst. Now, and I know some of you may like swap 2 and 3 around. I did think about this for a bit as well, but this is purely personal preference, right? I know some of you may want Jushu over Chloe, and that's quite understandable. But like, I think no matter how I think about this, Momo is first and brute force is last, so it really matters little, honestly, for me. But there's my tier list. I think I would definitely prefer an operator every time, so that's why Chloe's gone to second, not third. But Momo is above Chloe because Momo's better at doing that job than Chloe is, I think. But yeah, thank you for watching this video. I hope this has been rather informative. There may or may not be a weird audio error because I decided to not mute and shit like that. I try and keep this video playing, so I keep track of what I'm trying to say and shit, because I could write this all down, but it'll take me a couple of hours to do, and for a little thing like this, I don't think it's worth it. So I don't know, if you do hear a little bit of a bit of weird echoing or something, then I apologize. We'll see how bad it is or something when I'm editing this. But yeah, there's my suggestions for doing the inhibitor. Hopefully you have enjoyed this video. Hopefully this has been helpful for you. If you have any questions about the setup or anything, or if you want some raid boss help or anything, stick it in the comments. I'll try to get back to you as soon as possible. But until then, I hope you enjoyed watching, and I will see you in the next one.